In my last video, I went on a yap session and broke down the complex mechanics of time travel, distortions, and the Pokemon that manipulate them. But the DLC trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA may have revealed the most important piece yet, Hyperspace Lumiose. At the center of this anomaly is Hoopa. But the more I look at it, the more it reminded me of another reality-traveling Pokemon, Necrozma. We know from its first game appearance to the animated series that Hoopa is famous for warping space through its rings, opening holes that can bring distant Pokemon, people, and items to another reality. It's a mythical Pokemon best defined by travel and summoning, but in its confined form, it's weaker, limited, almost restrained. I find it interesting because it's exactly the kind of limitation we've seen in Necrozma. Now, Necrozma in its normal state is severely underpowered, broken even thanks to the ancestors of the Ultra Recon Squad, but by absorbing vast amounts of light, it can transform into its original form, Ultra Necrozma, now suddenly able to traverse ultra space as it likes. Sounds familiar? Kind of like Hoopa. And here's where it gets interesting. Both can open doorways to other realms. Both exist in a nerfed form most of the time. Both bring foreign entities into our world, with Hoopa pulling in legendary Pokemon and Necrozma drawing Ultra Beasts through wormholes. It's like they're two sides of the same dimensional coin, and this would suggest to me that Necrozma is not an Ultra Beast, similar to Hoopa not just being a legendary when summoning other legendaries. It's a mythical Pokemon and distinct from those it summons. So that would suggest to me that Necrozma probably is not an Ultra Beast. Which brings us to Hyperspace Lumiose. If we treat this anomaly the same way we treated Ultra Wormholes in Alola, this idea suddenly makes sense. Distortions appear across Lumiose, linking it to a parallel dimension. That's exactly how wormholes operated in Ultra Sun and Moon. Gateways between realities, with Necrozma at the center. In Kalos, Hoopa may be filling that same role and purposefully or accidentally bringing foreign Pokemon to the same reality of ZA, which is now starting to look similar, but separate timeline from X and Y, in my opinion. And there's more. In Alola, Ultra Wormholes brought in Pokemon foreign to the region, disrupting ecosystems and endangering people and Pokemon alike. In Kalos, these hyperspace portals may do the same, but instead of Ultra Beasts, we'll be seeing new Mega Evolutions, like Raichu from an X or Y dimension. This is interesting since it reveals that the distortions these Pokemon come from can give us insight to how Mega Energy flows in those dimensions. So if Hoopa is the Kalos counterpart to Necrozma, Hyperspace Distortions may be our Ultra Wormhole and Hyperspace Lumiose is what? Ultra Megalopolis? We know that the Pokemon DLC has introduced new locations in Sword and Shield, and in Scarlet and Violet. So could we get something similar to an Ultra Recon Squad? Like a Hyperspace Lumiose Squad? Gang? That'd be really exciting to see. But I have another question. Is Hoopa creating these distortions willingly? Or is it just the victim of some unknown energy spiraling out of control? Would that imply that something about Necrozma's character we saw in Ultra Sun and Moon? Is Hoopa going to be a silly guy and threaten Lumiose City with its hyperspace distortions, culminating in a story where we get to the bottom of it? Fight Hoopa and traverse into these hyperspace dimensions like the Ultra Space Ride? So, here's what I think may happen in the upcoming DLC. Hyperspace Lumiose isn't just a distortion as implied by the Pokemon website. I'm thinking it could be a crossroads where Hoopa and Necrozma's powers overlap, letting us step into adjacent realities we were never meant to see as mere mortals. I think the DLC will start us off post-game, like with the Crown Tundra DLC in Sword and Shield, and the Indigo Disc in Scarlet Violet. This is probably only endgame content, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a hidden mid-game content DLC similar to the Isle of Armor or the Teal Mask sessions of the DLC. We will suddenly start seeing these distortions, probably discover the source of these distortions being caused by the power of a mythical Pokemon, Hoopa, go on a questline to try and stop the Pokemon that are flowing out from here. Probably 11 new Megas like the Ultra Beast in Ultra Sun and Moon, with us either stopping all of them on our own, or with the help of the Kahunas and Trial Captains, and we only encounter one Mega Evolution in the wild like we did with Blacephalon and Stakataka. After winning the fight and obtaining the XY, or both Mega Stones, perhaps a group of people from this Hyperspace Lumiose will make an appearance and apologize for failing to notice Hoopa running amok of things and causing a headache for the people in our reality. Perhaps these guys will help us out to close the portals or give us a Mega Stone as a reward, not too dissimilar from the Ultra Recon Squad giving us Poipo. Towards the end of this potential half of the DLC, maybe we can get some way to traverse these hyperspace dimensions and visit the homeworld of these new Mega Pokemon like we did for Ultra Beasts. Maybe this will hold new lore along with the Mega Evolutions that never existed in X, Y, or in ZA. Others might be darker worlds, places where Lysander really did fire the ultimate weapon and reshape Kalos into something unrecognizable, either destroying the world and leaving only permanently Mega Evolved Pokemon, with some of these being in a constant state of pain and uncontrolled fury, or actually reshaped into his ideal paradise. Maybe it would help suggest that Hoopa opened up portals to these places on purpose and not just for fun, trying to help in its own way. Or maybe Hyperspace Lumiose is more than just a new Ultra Megalopolis we can visit, but instead act as a launch point to explore these entire dimensions filled with Megas we've only dreamed of, like the fabled Mega Flygon. Well, that's going to do it for my ramblings. If you liked the video, and leave a comment below if you like the ideas mentioned, or post your ideas and what the DLC may have in store for us, and I will see you in the next video.